Hi, my name is Knox, and I'm a board-certified music therapist who works in mental health. And I am going to teach you a music activity that you can do on your own in order to help your mental health. A quick disclaimer that any activity that I teach you to do on your own would not be considered music therapy because you would not be in a therapeutic relationship with me as a music therapist. However, these are skills and activities, interventions that we would use in music therapy sessions. So I hope you find this helpful. One of my favorite things in music therapy to talk about is the ISO principle. The ISO principle is something specific to music therapy. It's the idea of meeting someone where they are with music and then moving towards a state that they would like to be in. In a music therapy session, we might start off by playing some drums or listening to some music that matches where someone is. So for example, if they come in and they're feeling really anxious, then we might play some music that they feel reflects anxiety for them. And then what we would do is we would slowly work towards music that better matches where they're wanting to be. So how can you do this at home? The first thing I would do is I would pick an emotion that you have a hard time with, whether it's shame, anxiety, depression, anything that you feel you have a really difficult time coping with. For the purposes of this video, we're going to pick depression. So first what you do is you identify the emotion that you would like to change and the emotion that you're currently feeling. In this case, we're going to talk about depression. What you would then do is you would pick music that you feel like really matches and really resonates with you when it comes to depression. And this could be different for everyone. Some people's depression music might be metal. Some people's depression music might be classical music. Some people's depression music might be K-pop. It's very individual to you. There's a reason that we start with a depressive song. It's often because we do want to feel validated. We don't want to just ignore the fact that we're feeling depressed. And then you're going to decide what emotion do you want to work towards. A lot of people immediately say that the opposite of depression is happiness. However, maybe it's not happiness that you're working towards. Maybe you just want to feel at peace. Maybe you want to feel content. Not a wrong answer because there are no bad emotions. All emotions have a purpose. All emotions have a reason to exist. All emotions are valid. So say that you decided that you want to move from depression to feeling content. The next thing you would do would be to pick a song that you feel best encompasses the feeling of being content. Again, this is going to be very different depending on the individual and their genre preferences, their experiences with certain songs, all of that. So what we have now is we have the beginning and the end of a playlist. Start with that depressed mood, and we validate the fact that we're experiencing that by listening to music by someone who probably has experienced that as well. And then what we do is we work towards that feeling that someone is expressing that we want to experience. So for the purpose of this example, we want to move towards that content feeling. Now that we have the top and the bottom of our playlist, what we got to do is fill in the middle. This is something that could take some time, some thought, and sometimes some trial and error. What you would do is you would try to find songs that gradually move you from depression to feeling content. So perhaps you have a song that you feel matches the very deepest depths of the depression that you've experienced. Then your next song might be slightly less intense on the depression, and then your next song will be even less intense. And you would kind of move just in baby steps towards that feeling of contentment. And you can kind of work it from either side. So sometimes it's easier for people to work from that feeling of depression and think of new songs from there. Sometimes it's easier for people to work from that feeling of contentment and work up that way. There's not a wrong way to do it. And you can also start in the middle after you've gotten your first and last song. You can think of a song that's kind of in the middle of feeling depressed and content. And these playlists can be as long as you want. I often do this with my patients and create about a 5-song playlist, and that's usually due to time constraints. You can definitely make your playlist longer. You can make it maybe 10, 15, 20 songs. Keep in mind that within that playlist, the amount of time that playlist takes to play, your goal is to move from one emotion to the other. So if it's an emotion that you want to stay in a little while before you move, then you might make a longer playlist. If it's an emotion that you want to change a little bit quicker, then you might make a shorter playlist. If you do this on YouTube Music, Spotify, Apple Music, whatever you use to listen to your music, what I would do is I would title these Depression to Content, or maybe Anxiety to Peace, or Shame to Confidence, whatever you want to do. And some people might wonder, why not just listen to a happy song if you're already feeling depressed? And for some people that might work. And for some of us that might not. Because for me at least, I feel that if I try to just ignore my depression and go straight to feeling something happy, it doesn't quite work, because you're just kind of shoving that depression down for it to pop up later. Making music that matches our mood is very validating to us, because not only is it matching and we are acknowledging that that mood is there, but we're also listening to music that someone else made. So it's giving us an opportunity to connect with someone we have never met that might be experiencing something that we are currently experiencing. That said, we don't want to stay in that emotion. We want to be able to move on from it. And remember that not every music intervention or activity works for everybody. Just like medications, different people react differently to different things. That said, I would recommend giving it a try. And if it doesn't work the first time, maybe try again. Don't give up just because it doesn't work the first time. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you found this video helpful.